Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 3 of the Read Between podcast, the improvised storytelling podcast where we take the Internet's weirdest suggestions and turn them into crazy, wild, and weird stories with the power of improv. I am one of your co-hosts, Evan.
And I'm your other co-host, Lynn.
Yeah, so this is episode 3. This is the second attempt at recording episode 3.
And the second attempt at recording this intro now.
It happens. It's one of those things. It was a crazy week, and this only seems to add to the craziness. Trying to record and get this out to everybody, but we're glad to be here.
Heck yeah!
Yeah, it's awesome.
Heck yeah!
Awesome to be here. It's a busy week. I had 3 improv rehearsals in 1 week and a show to do. So yeah, we're actually recording this on Saturday. So a full 5 days after we initially planned to release episode 3.
Yep.
So yeah, that's cool.
Well, at least we got here.
Yeah, we got here. We made it. We made it to the weekend.
We're 5 days late, but we're here.
We're here. So this episode you'll be hearing will be going out today, Saturday. So you should probably be hearing this short while after we finish recording it.
Yeah, hopefully like sometime in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping. So so a couple of housekeeping things we'll want to get out of the way before we get started here. We are now on iTunes, if you haven't seen already. So if you're listening to us there, great, awesome, great to have you there.
Yeah.
And if you're not, go to iTunes, search Read Between Podcast, find us there. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a rating or a review, let us know how we're doing. We're always looking for feedback on how we're doing.
Don't pee on us.
Don't pee.
Don't pee on the podcast.
No, it's a good podcast. We like it. And as per usual, we're also on SoundCloud and YouTube. Just search Read Between Podcasts. You'll find us there. So yeah. So for those who haven't listened to the podcast before, what we do here is we take suggestions from the internet and we turn them into stories. And what Lynn usually does here in the first half of our episodes, you know what? Why not? I'll let you explain it.
Okay. So what I do is I basically just go to the subreddit, Not the Onion, and I look up some articles that are true. And they have a little, sound like an Onion article. They sound satirical, but they're not. And I like to try and base our stories off of that. I only read the title of the article. I don't read anything about it. Just the title.
And then we will tell the story behind that article.
Yeah.
So Lynn, why don't you give us your 3 choices for articles?
Okay. So.
Let's see what we got.
First, Black Friday shopper claims his spot in line.
Oh my God. That's a full,
2 weeks.
2 weeks early.
2 weeks early.
Oh boy.
Hacker hijacks North Korean radio station. Plays the final countdown.
Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. They only play it once? Or do they play it all day? They turned it into an all-day, pirate radio loop of final countdown.
Or, when was he caught, if he was caught?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Police, suspect's farts shuts down interrogation.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I like that one. You know what?
Okay.
Let's tell the story of that one.
All right.
So this was last week in Butte, Montana. Aptly named Butte, because it's got butt in the name. B-U-T-T-E.
Everyone there has just big old booties.
Yes.
Just like the best booties.
Yeah.
It's the booty you always want. It's the booty you strive for.
That's the state motto. the butte you've been looking for. That's not the state slogan. That's the city slogan.
Yeah.
And Montana's slogan could be the butte you're looking for.
If they want it to be.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a genetic thing. It's not like
It's not like an X-Men thing where they're.
It's not like the people who have lived in Butte, Montana.
Montana.
It's not like the people who've lived in Butte, Montana their entire life. Just have those big old bubble butts. It's like as soon as you move there, let's say you were from Jacksonville, Florida, right, and you move to Butte, you just get that big old beautiful butt as soon as you start packing in.
Because it's a Butte, a full butt. So anyway, the police force...
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. It's Saturday morning. I should be watching cartoons.
I woke you up gently with tea and toast.
Tea and toast.
And you're still like this.
I'm still loopy. I don't know why. This is what happens when we record a podcast 3 days late. Not 3 days late, 5 days late. But anyway, so the police of Butte, Montana, oftentimes have to deal with a lot of butt-related crimes. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of butt-related robberies, a lot of butt-related homicides, butt-related stabbings. There's actually, this year in Butte, Montana, has had a record number of butt stabbings.
How many?
555.
Jeez.
Yes.
So, question. Mm-hmm. When you say butt robberies,
yes.
Do you mean that people are trying to steal other people's butts?
No, a butt robbery is when a butt is used as a primary weapon in a robbery. So basically, it's instead of an armed robbery, it's a butt robbery. Mm. So like instead of a perp showing a gun, they'll show their butt, and it's like, give me the money, but it's really they're just showing their butt, and they're like having to yell through their legs.
So like when they do that, right? Do they spread the cheeks and move it as if like the butt was talking?
No,
that would be inappropriate.
That would be inappropriate.
Okay.
And their pants are on. It's not like they pull their pants down and moon the person they're trying to rob. They just
shove their butt.
Shove their butt in their face.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, butt robberies are at an all-time high. Butt stabbings are at an all-time high.
Those poor butts.
The butts are having problems. And one day this suspect, let's call it for the sake of privacy, let's call him John. We'll call him John Doe.
John Buttman.
John Buttman. John Buttman was arrested on conspiracy to commit butt murder.
That's one of the worst.
Yeah, very serious crime. He was jealous that another man admired his wife's butt.
That is a problem, though.
Yes, it's a big problem. So of course, John Buttman, thought it'd be a good idea to hire a hit butt man.
I'm trying to come up with a funny way of saying that, but I don't think there is.
Butt man? Tried to hire a butt man.
Okay, tried to hire a butt thug.
A butt that sounds too close to butt chug if you're lisping. Butt tug. That's not good.
I don't think that's how lisps work.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So anyway,
I like butt thug.
He tried to hire a butt thug to take out this guy that admired his wife's butt, but he was promptly arrested after the butt sting operation that took him down. You know a lot of the details about this sting operation and how he was caught. So why don't you fill us in on what happened?
Okay, well, so in order for John Buttman to go through with this plan, he had to go to the red light district of Butte.
The red butt district.
The red butt district. And he had to go to a kind of a sleazy bar, you know. Mm-hmm. So he sat down and he was wearing a hood and glasses. He didn't want to be seen. John Buttman is a pretty distinguished fellow. Mm-hmm. Not that like he's a man of power, but he's a man that everyone knows and likes and respects. You know, he's got a good job in IT, and in his free time he volunteers at the local butt shelter. And
it's like Cheers, where everybody knows your butt.
Yes. Everybody knows your butt. Okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
So people knew him, and so he didn't really want to be shown. He didn't want to be known in the red butt district, you know. So he's wearing sunglasses. He's got a hood on, sitting at the bar drinking some of that good old butt whiskey, and he sees the guy. He sees his butt thug in the corner of his eye, and he's playing pool. And so with his drink, John Buttman walks over to this butt thug. We'll call him. Nobody knows his name. This guy.
He's supposed to be undercover.
Yeah. So nobody knows his name exactly. They just call him Farty McFarts. And so he goes over and he goes, "Are you Farty?" And Farty goes, "Yeah. What can I help you with?" Oh, so that's why they call you Farty. What can I help you with? And John Buttman's a little shaking in his boots, and he goes, okay, I'll just tell you. And then he lets a little out himself, and Farty just kind of gives him a respectful nod, as if to be like, I respect you and your choices, man.
And within the criminal underworld of Butte, Montana, farts are the main form of communication.
Yeah.
Like, in the older days, a lot of criminals would use Morse code to communicate with one another because it was easy to understand. Farts, surprisingly, are even simpler.
Yes.
It's all about pitch. It's all about like the base of the fart. If it's a deep fart, then it's much more serious. But if it's a lighter fart, it's not as serious. It's more of a joking matter.
And like the length too. So if it's like a longer fart, it's more of a compliment, right? Compared to like a little like bloop noise, it's like what the fuck was that? What are you doing with your life?
So, but unfortunately, what John Buttman didn't realize was that Farty McFarterson, or Farty McFartman, right? Farty McFart was an undercover cop in the Butte Police Department.
Yeah, he posed as a butt thug, but was not a butt thug.
So with that, John Buttman was promptly arrested and taken to jail. And of course, once he was there, he had to be questioned because this, of course, is a very serious crime. A lot of implications behind it. Be a lot of problems for him down the line. So the two lead investigators on the case, Harry and Lumpy Buttman, the third.
Not Buttman. They're not related to John.
Yeah.
They were just Harry and Larry. What is it?
Harry and Lumpy.
I think it's just Harry and Lumpy Butt.
Yeah. They're the descendants of the founders of Butte, Montana.
And now John Buttman is just shaking in his boots. This was the last thing he wanted. This is the last position he wanted to be in. He wanted to keep his nice squeaky clean butt record as being the nice buttman in the neighborhood. And now he's in jail. Yep. And he's being questioned for murder, for conspiracy of murder.
Yep.
Butt murder.
Yep, conspiracy butt murder.
And it's really hard on him. Unlike most butt people, when he gets nervous, those farts happen again, right?
So in this case, Harry and Lumpy were questioning him. They were, it was a real good cop, bad cop kind of routine that they were doing. What were you doing at this bar? Who were you speaking to? What's all the butts about? I don't, what butt? What's a butt? And then, John Buttman just burp a little bit.
But,
of course, as Harry and Lumpy know, that little toot could be code for something. So, of course, they turn their full attention to his butt. They start questioning the butt. They're like, what is your motive? What is your purpose? What do you want out of this? Because it seems as if John Buttman's butt has a mind of its own.
Yeah, and as they're shouting their questions at the butt just, it's not making a sound. It's just quiet. And the butt waits for Harry and Lumpy to calm down. After a good couple minutes, Harry and Lumpy, they're running out of questions. They just start shouting, do you like ice cream? How about cake? What's your favorite meal? I like spaghetti. What do you like? And they just keep yelling at this butt until they just don't have any other questions for it. And then all you hear is this loud rumble. And then all of a sudden, just a loud... I can't make a fart noise. Here, we know how to do this.
Good enough.
It's fine.
That worked. They'll get it. It plays well on the audio. They'll get it. We've been talking about farts for the last 15 minutes, so people get it. People get it.
And the stench doesn't kick in right away. It takes a moment. And then you just hear Harry just takes in a nice old sniff, and he goes, oh God, oh my God, and it's just the worst smell, the worst smell anybody could have smelled. And then the butt does it again, and now Harry's on the floor, and Lumpy's freaking out, and then it farts one more time, and then the butt starts speaking. I would have gotten away with it too. John Buttman's crying.
He's crying.
He's crying.
He's keeled over on all floors next to the interrogation table, just crying his eyes out because he just can't believe what's going on.
And now the lower half of his body just stands up and just starts walking away.
Like his top half separates from the bottom?
No, like his top half is still there, but it's just hanging.
Oh, okay. So he's like a lowercase r, pretty much.
Kind
like
of,
his top half is just like...
Yes.
Okay.
And John's not doing this.
No.
John Buttman's not it's the butt.
The butt has now taken over John's body. The butt is in control.
And now it's trying to get its way out. So the other cops in the station, they hear all this commotion. They go in to check on it, and as soon as they open the door, they're just hit with this loud, rippling fart. Mm-hmm. And it just knocks down the cops like bowling pins.
Jeez.
And this butt is just on a rampage. He's like, that was my wife! And now he's like picking up pace, and he's like running backwards. And I don't know about you guys. If you try and run backwards, it's not fun.
No, and it's hard. It's really hard.
But man, this butt's got some stride. And it is just making its way to
It's making its way to the front door of the station.
To the front door of the station.
And literally it's
knocking down cops as it goes.
Knocking down cops, but as they get closer to the door, a line of cops have blocked the door. They're all standing, they formed a wall, they're linked arm in arm, ready to stop this butt at any cost. Mm-hmm. So with this, the butt has decided to take matters into its own hands, and it charges up the biggest, the loudest, the meanest fart it could possibly do. Mm-hmm. And it just, out of nowhere, he shoots out of the front door, through the wall like a rocket, and John Buttman and his rogue butt shoot into space, never to be seen again.
However,
what
was the name of this town?
Butte.
I forgot.
Butte, Montana.
The town of Butte, Montana has never been the same. When he took off like that, the radius of the fart was bigger than Butte, Montana. Mm-hmm. So Butte, Montana, and now its surrounding areas are almost radioactive from this smell.
It's basically Chernobyl.
Yeah, Chernobyl.
That's what they've affectionately called Butte, Montana now.
Yep, everyone had to leave. Mm-hmm. Those people still can't wipe the stench off of their faces. And as they left Butte, Montana, they also left their butts behind.
No amount of Charmin wipes can erase the shame that came upon Butte, Montana that day.
No amount. The end.
The end. Oh, man. Off to a strong start.
All right.
15-minute story about butts and farts.
That's what I like.
We're definitely not trying to appeal to lowest common denominator with that comedy.
I don't know about you. At least we didn't call anyone poop.
Exactly. Agreed. We didn't call anybody poop. That's always good.
That's always, what you aim for.
Yeah. Whenever you can do a show and not call anybody poop, you've succeeded.
At least we didn't call anyone Pooperstein or something.
Exactly.
So you want to cut to break and we'll tell another story?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So you guys stay tuned. We will be back on the other side of this break.
Hey guys, Lynn here. Just wanted to talk about some of our social media outlets during this break. So first we're on Facebook. That's facebook.com/readbetweencast. Go ahead and like that page. Maybe comment some of your favorite moments or, tell us how we're doing. You can also find us on Twitter at readbetweencast. And go ahead, follow us. Tell us again how we're doing. Please, we'd love some feedback to know what we can do to improve ourselves. You guys are more than welcome to give suggestions on either one of those pages. If you want to get more in depth with a suggestion, like let's say you tell us a story that has happened in your life, whether it be good, bad, or weird, maybe we can make a story off of that. And you can go ahead and send that information to readbetweencast@gmail.com. We're more than happy to definitely read over some suggestions, read over how we're doing, get some feedback. So please feel free to let us know. You can reach us at either three of those accounts. I mean, we have them open on our phones almost all the time, every day. So please feel free to reach out. So with that, I think it's time to tell another story.
And we are back. We are back from break. It's a good break, huh?
Yeah. Nothing special happened.
I gave that break a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I
What did you do on the break, Evan?
I don't know what I did. I went somewhere, did something.
You don't remember?
No, it went by like a blur. I don't remember.
Maybe you were John Buttman.
Maybe I was. Oh my god. Maybe
I need to get the fuck out of this apartment.
Well, I think it's time for my story this week.
Sure, Evan. So how do you come up with your titles for the story?
So for my titles, I go to a website called fantasynamegenerators.com, and they have a book title generator that randomly gives you titles based on different genres for books that you may want to write someday, or books that you may not have someday, but you may want to make a podcast out of them because they're pretty freaking funny. So I'm going to spin through some categories here, and I'll pick a story out of each of these genres, and then we'll see what story we want to tell.
All right.
So first, I'm going to spin in the humor category. Here's one. Weight of the Pants.
Ooh, that could tie into the John Buttman story.
That could be the prequel story to John Buttman. That really could.
Spawn of John Buttman.
Yes. Okay, so now we're going to spin in the children's category. Bunny of Fire.
Wow.
You said wow, as in World of Warcraft? That could be a World of Warcraft character.
I mean, maybe?
It could be.
Please let us know if you're Bunny of Fire.
Yeah, if you're Bunny of Fire on BattleNet, let us know. We play Overwatch, so
we've neither one of us have ever played
WoW,
but we do play Overwatch.
I do pretty good Owen Wilson. Wow.
He likes to think he does.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, and then last but not least, in the romance category, here's a good one. Preparing for My Wife.
Wasn't that super simple to a story we've told before?
Maybe one that got cut, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe one that got lost in the ether of
I think that
bad audio.
Yeah.
Okay, let's spin another one then. Let's do sci-fi. Here we go. Men from the UFO.
Okay. So the Weight of the Pants.
Weight of the Pants.
Bunny of Fire.
Bunny of Fire.
And Men from the UFO.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
I think I want to do a sequel story.
You want to do a sequel story? Weight of the Pants?
Yeah, Weight of the Pants.
All right. So with that, let us tell the sequel story to John Buttman called Weight of the Pants.
So when John Buttman blasted off into space, he was the only citizen of Butte who never lost his butt.
That's right, yeah.
And he spent a lot of time in space. Nobody really knows how he was able to breathe or function. Mm-hmm. But John had a lot of time to talk to his butt. Mm-hmm. Get to know his butt.
Become one with his butt. And
John had figured out that the best way to keep this butt, this butt was pure evil. Uh-huh. It destroyed towns.
Yep.
Destroyed lives.
Killed people. Conspired to kill people.
Conspired. All of those. It learned how to talk.
Yeah.
So he figured the best way to conceal the evil within this butt is by wearing the tightest pants he could find.
Ooh.
And just wearing them all day, every day.
Yeah. So in order to do this, he went to the nearest Old Navy and bought their most expensive pair of skinny jeans.
Yes.
And he actually bought them a size smaller than he normally wears because he really wanted to make sure that constriction on the butt was happening. Mm-hmm. He wanted to make sure that butt felt like he was not in control. Mm-hmm. That butt could not control John, but John could control the butt.
Yes.
With the power of the pants.
Yes. So now with his pants, he packed up his new tight pants, and he moved to Blue Ball, Pennsylvania.
It's very close to Blue Bell. It's the neighboring town to Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, which to be fair is an actual town in Pennsylvania.
Isn't Blue Ball an actual town?
Blue Bell is.
No. Give me a phone.
Quick to the Google machine.
Because there's two towns in Pennsylvania. One's called Blue Ball or Blue Balls, and the other one is called Intercourse.
Blue Ball, PA. Okay, you are right. It's in Lancaster County.
There you go. So he moved to Blue Ball, Pennsylvania.
Which is far away from Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Because those two things aren't anywhere similar.
No, what happens is when you don't get to Intercourse, you get to Blue Ball. So.
Oh, we are on fire today. We are on fire today, folks.
Oh
You're getting a
my
real
God.
treat with this one. Oh, God.
So
Anyway.
he moved to Blue Ball, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And it's a quiet town in Lancaster County.
Yes. Pretty much Amish country.
Yes. Which he thought was the best, because who's gonna recognize him in Amish country? Nobody knows that this happened.
Because they don't have internet.
No.
I mean, what happened in Butte was a viral sensation.
Oh, absolutely.
It had been dominating the news cycle for the last week.
I mean, technically, John Buttman is on the America's Most Wanted list.
Yeah, John Walsh did a profile on him on America's Most Wanted. You know, full dramatic reenactment and everything. You know, he was profiled, and everybody knew it.
Yep, exactly. So he moves to Blue Ball, Pennsylvania, and he lives a quiet life for a few years. You know, he never really meets anyone special. He never really settles down. It's not. He decides that that's not his style no more.
Yeah.
You know, it's a matter of getting by without his butt taking control. And you know, as the time goes on, it gets harder. His pants just feel heavy. The burden of his pants are heavy around his waist. But he feels like he has to keep going.
But all the while, the tightness of the pants is starting to fade away. He's, you know, breaking in these pants. They're not as tight as they used to be. They're still pretty tight, but the grip that he's holding on his butt is loosening by the day. He no longer is feeling powerful. He's feeling less powerful every single day.
Like at any moment,
that butt
his
could snap.
control could be just overwhelmed by his butt. And so John goes out and he buys some lovely belts to try and make it as tight as he can again. But every once in a while he does hear a little brrr, maybe a little fart in his sleep. And he knows that this butt is going to be released any day now.
As the days go on, the get louder and louder and louder, while the tightness of the pants gets looser and looser and looser. And one day he was just walking through town. He was going to have lunch, and all of a sudden, the butt just releases a, and the windows on all the shops in downtown explode. It's a scene straight out of like Man of Steel, when, you know, Superman and that villain he fought. I don't remember. But like they were fighting in Kansas or Kentucky, whatever state it was, and they like destroyed the town. It's pretty much what happened there.
At first, everybody was confused as to what happened and where that noise came from, but it just took a little bit of a head turn. John Buttman had lost his pants with that explosion. He's sitting there pantsless, just a couple of pieces of jean fabric being held together by a very tight belt around his waist. And
he was back in the lowercase r position where his butt had taken over again.
And John's just shaking his head. And he just, with the last amount of strength that he had, he just says, "I'm sorry, everyone. I tried to control my butt." And all of a sudden, just a good old loud, "Daddy's home!"
And with that, John's mind goes blank.
Yes.
But once it goes blank, he then sees a flash of white light, and with this, his mind, it's pretty much like he's dead, like he's in purgatory. But as he's walking through, he comes across the faces of those that his butt has changed the lives of. You know, Harry and Lumpy back in Butte. His ex-wife. He sees all their faces. He sees the magnitude of the destruction he caused. But the one person that we didn't actually touch on in the initial story was John Buttman's grandfather, Barry Buttman.
Okay.
Barry Buttman was a very powerful influence in John Buttman's life. And Barry knew a lot of things going on with John's butt. Because Barry Buttman was actually the person that he got his powers from. Barry Buttman, he fought in World War II. And it's not talked about much, but Hitler didn't kill himself. Barry Buttman killed Adolf Hitler with a fart. It was a fart more powerful than any bullet. It was a fart more powerful than any bullet, any death pill that you could take.
And Barry didn't want to be known by fame. That's not, he just wanted to do the right thing.
And that's why whenever people were questioned, that's the story he told. And that's the public story that everybody knows, is that Hitler killed himself. You know, him and Eva Braun, they both killed themselves with the death pills and whatever. I
think it was actually a shotgun.
No, they didn't kill themselves with a shotgun.
I thought it was a gun.
No, I don't remember. Please correct us on our history if we're wrong. We're not a history podcast. We're an improv podcast. But no, the important moral of the story here is that John was reunited with Barry in this purgatory, and Barry took a second to talk to John and tell him, "Look, I understand the predicament you're in here. You know, your butt has taken over. Your butt has become a bigger part of you than you have thought. But as I always taught you when you were younger, with great butt power comes great butt responsibility. You need to take that power and harness it and become the master of your own domain, the master of your own butt once again."
And John Buttman goes, "Grandpa Barry, do you think I can do that though? I mean, look at my butt. My butt is so powerful."
That is only because you've let your butt become powerful. The butt should not be more powerful than you. The butt is yours. The butt is something that you were born with. The butt is something that you were given. The butt is something that you can take hold of.
But how, Grandpa Perry? How?
Son, like I always told you when you were younger, grab life by the butt cheeks and hold on tight.
And that's what John Buttman did. As soon as his Grandpa Barry said that, he woke up. His hands immediately grasped onto his butt cheeks. And the butt was just like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
And with this, the ground around them started to shake. It was almost like an earthquake had hit this town. And people were hiding. People were running into buildings trying to save themselves. And John was just grasping his butt as hard as he could. The veins in his hands were popping out. He was he looked like he was going to pass out. He was red in the face. And with this, after 30 seconds of grabbing, there's just a white flash and just an explosion, like a nuclear bomb had just went off. And in its wake, John stood tall without a butt. But he gained his confidence back.
And just like that, the entire town, it just calmed back down. Like after a storm, all of the destruction, it still lay there, but everything else was quiet and still. And people saw John Buttman in the middle of the road, and everyone in town was looking at him, and one guy points to him and goes, "Hey, that guy's a freak!
He ain't got no butt.
His butt done farted and blew up our town."
Y'all just gonna forget that? He took out the Chick-fil-A.
"We may be Amish, but damn, we liked our Chick-fil-A.
Good chicken."
And just like that, John Buttman was handcuffed and brought to jail. But this time, John Buttman told the truth and did not poison a bunch of cops with his farts.
The end.
The end. By the way, I looked it up. Hitler got poisoned and then shot himself. Okay.
So it was both.
It was both.
We were both right.
Yes.
We were both right. All right. So neither of us were wrong, but we were technically both wrong.
We're talking about death, about a mass murderer. Okay. We're horrible people.
We are. But hey, that was a fun saga of John Buttman that we told today.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I liked this saga
of John Buttman. That was cool. Yeah.
I'm not saying that every story should be a saga,
but I dig it.
I
think that made sense for today. That was definitely what we needed to do.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that that concludes episode 3 of Read Between. Yeah, that was a pretty fun episode, don't you think?
I really liked take a shot every time we said the word butt.
Oh, God, no. Because don't encourage that because you'll die.
Take a shot every time you hear the word butt.
Please don't.
Do it.
We
don't listen to him.
We don't need that on our conscience.
Don't listen to him. Do it.
Please don't.
Don't listen to him.
So before people go killing themselves with shots like you told them to do you want to promote yourself a little bit? Let people know what you got going on?
Heck yeah. So I'm on Twitter. Could you believe it?
Yeah, I can.
No, you're supposed to be like, geez, God, no. I'm on Twitter at Annlynn, AYNNELNN. I tweet a lot. That's where you can find, like, if I ever, like, do anything on the internet, I normally post it there. Yeah. I also sometimes stream on Twitch. That's the same thing. You can just go to twitch.tv/AYNNELNN. And I play video games and stuff to people. So that's mostly what I do. Mm-hmm. How about you, Evan?
So you can find me on Twitter at E_Williamson93. I'm trying to become more active on Twitter a little bit. It's not a platform I've used a lot, but I probably want to get back into doing it, especially if you guys want to talk to me there. Feel free to shoot me some tweets. I'll be happy to respond. I also do improv comedy here in the Bethlehem, Pennsylvania area. I perform the team called Family Laundry on the second and fourth Saturday of every month at Steel Stacks in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's part of the Improv Comedy Power Hour every second and fourth Saturday at 10:30 p.m. You can find more information on that at steelstacks.org/comedy. Also, if you're in the Allentown, Pennsylvania area, this coming Tuesday is the Improv Comedy Bar Brawl at the Allentown Brew Works. We got a lot of fun teams coming in. It's a whole bunch of new stuff we got going on, new improv comedy, new sketch comedy. So yeah, feel free to check out, if you go on Facebook, if you search the group Improv in the Lehigh Valley, you'll be able to find more information on a lot of those shows coming up. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah. You can follow us. You can follow this podcast at readbetweencast on Twitter. Yep. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/readbetweencast. If you have any emails, if you have any email suggestions,
yes.
If you want us to tell a story that you have experienced, if you want to give us a title of something, please feel free to email us at readbetweencast@gmail.com.
Yep.
And hey, we're on iTunes now. That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you can go, subscribe to us there. Leave us some feedback.
Yeah.
Be honest with it. Rate us. Tell us how we're doing. Give us some commentary. We would love some feedback.
Yeah, it's definitely good, especially 3 episodes in. We're really starting to get in the groove of things here, starting to get the format figured out. So any suggestions you guys have are going to be really helpful with the show moving forward. So
absolutely. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, and we'll tell some stories next time.
Yes, which will be at this point a couple days from now. You'll hear some more
on Monday.
Yes, like we actually planned to.
Yes. All right, guys.
All right. With that being said, we are signing out. We will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.